Hello, are we? I'm sorry, I got kicked out. Are we live? We're good? Can you hear me, Shauna?
Yeah, I'm here. Hi, Dr. Nikki.
Okay, awesome. We're live. I just got kicked off for a moment, so I'm back. Thank you.
Hi, Dr. Nikki.
Technology, it happens at the worst times, right?
Right.
So thank you everyone for being patient. So I am so excited for this interview today. I'm Dr. Niki Davis with lifestyletelemedicine.com, and we are starting this new series where we're going to be talking to patients. And this is our Patient Success Stories series. So we're going to have more of these. And this one is an incredible transformation, Shauna. I am so excited to talk to you today and share your story because it's incredible. You are one of my patients, and thank you so much for being willing to share your health information with us. I know it's private information that you're willing to share with people because you want to help others be able to get better as well. So, Shauna, why don't you start with kind of telling us, you and I have started working together, I think in May of last year. Oh yeah, please, everyone who's watching, let us know where you're watching from. We'd love to find out where everyone's watching from today. But Shauna, why don't you start with, we started working with each other in May. So, but I kind of want to go back. So before we even started working together, you had decided to try a specific diet. Why don't you kind of take us back to what started you on this journey?
Yes. Essentially, so I'm 55. I've been in menopause now 6 years. And I don't want to put things in my body. I'm hormone free. I needed to make that transition as naturally as possible. But when I was 47, I was diagnosed with Graves' disease, which really shell shocked me. I was the healthiest person I knew. Right?
Yeah. And for those who don't know, Graves' disease is hyperthyroid. So a lot of people have low thyroid. This is when your thyroid is in overdrive,
Yes.
producing too much thyroid hormone.
Absolutely. And I really was shell shocked with this diagnosis. And I was probably perimenopause at the time, but had no idea. Right. And, in my 30s, I had infertility unexplained. So this is just my health history. At 29, I married my soulmate. We wanted children, and it was like, couldn't get pregnant. And my nature is fairly stubborn, and I did the IVF and I did all the hormones, and I just said, no, I can't do this to my body. So we ended up, we're parents. We adopted our son. So beautiful situation there. But rolling in, I was a later mother. At 47, I found myself fairly exhausted, but I had a 6-year-old. I didn't connect the dots. But my eating, from my 30s, from being diagnosed with infertility, endometriosis, all of these, I had always been, let's say, keto, because I'm 55. In the 80s, that was the Dr. Atkins. This was the thing, and I remember this being very protein based. Lots of dairy fats, higher fat, higher protein, lots of vegetables though, lots of olive oil. So I always focused my eating that way. But then infertility, and then 47, Graves' disease. So I'm thinking in my brain, I'm so healthy. And my cholesterol always ran fairly high, but I was always told, even at 47, but your LDL to HDL ratio is excellent. But my cholesterol always ran higher. And so there's heart disease in my family. There's diabetes in my family. So I have all these risk factors, but I just kept powering through. I'm not sure why. I had the indicators.
Well, because everyone was telling you.
The whole planet is.
You were being told you're doing the right things, and this is just what happens. Yes. Graves just happens.
Yeah. And being my age, it's a very interesting perspective, because the focus right now is so protein intensive, but that's what I focused on. And here were all my diseases, and I just thought I'll overcome them. So enter menopause. Well, now I'm now I'm officially shell shocked.
Yeah.
Now really experiencing, because I hadn't ever felt unwell. I always had energy and um, good joint function, good gut health, very calm stomach because I never ate grains or legumes. So of course, I didn't have gut issues, but whenever I tried, I would say, oh, I would bloat and feel terrible.
Right, because you're,
I wasn't
eating
used
new
to eating them.
fiber that you're, and you're changing your gut microbiome. It takes a little bit for your body
Right.
to adjust.
I mean,
Yeah.
for years I avoided the fruits and the sugar thing, and all that. But coming into menopause really shell shocked me. And then what had happened was I had swung. I went from Graves' disease into Hashimoto's disease, which again, I was stunned. I was like, well, how is that possible?
Right. And so both of those are autoimmune conditions. And so you went from this high thyroid autoimmune condition to now having a low thyroid autoimmune condition. And Hashimoto's is the most common reason that people have low thyroid. So it's interesting that you had that swing down.
And there is a lot of, everyone talks about the perimenopause and into the menopause journey. And I did it clean. So I consider myself an excellent case study because I was free of all of the hormonal influences. My body was pretty raw. And there was a point, Dr. Niki, I love to call you Dr. Niki because
I love it too.
I brag about my plant-based doctor who is an ex-rocket scientist because that is specifically why I selected you. I was like, I need a data-focused person. This isn't about emotions, how I feel. I need better numbers.
Yeah.
And how
and I like better numbers.
And I needed a brain that could interpret them. So into the menopause journey, it was just, I again didn't, and cholesterol, not happy. Right. And I had tried plant-based in the past. We moved to Europe. So I was pushed the medication route and I said, no, thank you. I'm not doing that. So I did actually go plant-based for a good 2 years. I lived in France and Germany and Italy. And very easy to go plant-based in Europe, by the way. Some excellent stores and selections. But I was very low-fat plant-based. So I had kind of tried that approach and actually almost healed my thyroid. But interestingly enough, my cholesterol was still just a little over 200, even being low-fat plant-based. But I always drew from that and thought, well, I still almost made it, So I had that foundation already, but it was being low-fat plant-based was so strict to me. I just couldn't get my head around it. So I couldn't sustain it. And then our move back to America brought me back to meat and Mediterranean. And now I'm in full menopause with horrible menopause symptoms. I'm gaining weight in places I had never gained weight in the past. And my thyroid, I still couldn't get it under control. And I'm exhibiting now the Hashimoto symptoms and high antibody numbers. These were high. They were probably in the mid 2s for my antibody. And I know the word for that, thyroid globulin or something, but
the anti-thyroid globulin.
Just fantastically at a normal range, eating Mediterranean and again being shoved medicine. And I just so in desperation of not wanting to go on hormones, of not wanting to go on thyroid medication, it was just carnivore. And I thought, what can I do now? I can run and get my blood work done. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to go all carnivore. Fat is good for women. High cholesterol is great for brain health. I was like, I want all of these, all of that that's being sold to me with carnivore. And I can do it. I actually enjoy the taste of steak and butter. And I make I made my own ghee. I did grass-fed butter. I did as much grass-fed meat as I could. I was so strict carnivore, 7 solid months.
And this was not very long ago, right? You probably started this, a year ago?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So about a year ago, you
started
a
little over a year. Yep.
Okay.
And And I
And
thought,
what
but
happened in these
it's,
7 months?
yeah.
What did you experience? What did you see?
Well, I gathered the data. I got my blood work first.
Yep.
And the start of carnivore for me, I had my TSH, my thyroid stimulating hormone, was 1.5. That's good.
Yep.
That's
That's right in
actually
the
good.
middle. Mm-hmm.
And my cholesterol was right around 250 or 260, I would say.
Okay.
So, but to me, these numbers are still, I didn't like them. But it was more the menopause symptoms I was after quenching. And I was losing my hair. I had, anyway,
So
women my
while
age
you were eating
understand.
carnivore, you started noticing hair shedding,
Well, actually,
or
before just
before?
having the
Okay.
Hashimoto's symptoms.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I was hoping carnivore could correct that.
Got it.
Right,
Got it.
because it's supposed to calm the gut and all the fat soluble vitamins, the A's and the D's and the E's and the K's, and I'm supposed to absorb all this from the meat and from the butter and the omegas. And I thought, well, I want all of that. And I'm not a person that could ever take vitamins, Niki. I could never. They would always make me just feel horrible in my stomach. So I wasn't supplementing. I thought carnivore says I can get all this from food, so I'm going to do this. Anyway, so 7 months later, um, I felt okay. But I went to the doctor and I packed on 9 pounds. I got my new blood work back. 7 months. I was so excited. Like, this worked. I feel okay. I'm 9 pounds heavier in strange places, like up around my heart, which I had never had weight up around that area before. And I thought, well, I'm supposed to be healthier. Okay. My cholesterol went from 250 to 404 in 7 months. It doubled. And that just freaked me out. It freaked my doctor out.
I'm sure.
And my thyroid stimulating hormone, my TSH number, went from 1.5 to 13.5. And I was in this to correct my thyroid.
Right. And just so that people are aware, that thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH, is kind of opposite of the thyroid hormone. So if it's really high, that means your thyroid hormone is low. So with hers going up over time, what that means is that her thyroid hormone levels are going down at the same time, which is actually worsening, means that her Hashimoto's or her hypothyroid is getting worse.
And those, yes, and the antibody numbers skyrocketed to 550.
And they were in the 200 range.
And they were
before.
in the 200s before.
Yeah.
Which
so that's
I would
another
say,
thing that we follow are these antibodies that, the cause of the low thyroid. And if you see those numbers increasing over time, that just is telling us that the disease is progressing, it's worsening.
And, to me, it's just indicative of systemic inflammation. I mean, I don't care where it is in my body. My body is clearly inflamed. And so my medical doctor looked at me and said, well, you have to get on a statin or a thyroid medication. Your cholesterol won't come down. How did she phrase it? Unless we get you on, stabilize your thyroid. So you need to be on thyroid medication because that cholesterol number won't come down. And I thought to myself, okay, like, I'm glad that the metadata says that, or whatever you're saying. But I said, could you just give me 3 months? And I frantically researched plant-based eating. I just knew, I knew from my past experience being low-fat plant that I did make improvements. But so then I kind of revisited all of my favorite plant-based doctors, and I came across Joel Fuhrman, Eat to Live, and he made a lot of sense to me with nuts and seeds. And those are things that I was avoiding being low-fat plant-based in my past. And I thought, and then the whole fiber thing, I really took a deep dive into the gut and the microbiome and all the fiber that's needed to reseed the gut. And I'm thinking, I could never absorb my nutrients. Clearly, I'm unwell. I just want to feel better. I'd like my hair to come back. And my hair got worse and started to fall out. 7 months in carnivore. Everything maybe my skin was nice and juicy, but and dewy, but it still is being plant-based because I focus on my nuts and seeds. So enter you, Dr. Niki. I was all over the internet watching podcasts, as you do, and I came across lifestyle telemedicine because I said, there's not a real plant-based doctor in my area, and I really just want to work with another woman. I really need to be heard. Because these are complicated symptoms with menopause included. Just chuck that in there. Yep. So, and then I watched an interview. I don't know. Somehow the Furman links led me to telehealth medicine. And I watched an interview with you. It was specific with female health. And then I just looked at the telehealth medicine page and I scanned and I read your profile, and just something in me said, Dr. Niki, I love your background. I loved your data orientation. I loved the rocket scientist in your brain. And that's what I needed, because I am so sick to death of hearing all the opposing, arguments. It's just, you can cherry pick science data all day long. And I just thought, well, I have test results. I need to improve them. And I can come to this now with a baseline and an absolute, you know exactly what I've been eating for 7 months. Loads of meat, loads of good grass-fed butter, absolutely zero carbs, zero grain, zero legumes, zero fiber. And all I did was fall apart in my body and my numbers. So making the transition, I was determined that I wanted help. So enter you.
And I was excited to meet you because, it's not often that I get someone who is that, I guess, determined to follow a specific diet. So, I mean, you followed that to the T for 7 months, the carnivore diet.
100%. I was all over the prominent doctors, and I won't name drop. I was all over. I even had, an appointment booked with a doctor in Italy who's the leading female carnivore advocate. I had her all booked in. But when those test results came back, I mean, I really was stunned. I thought, well, everything's going to be healed because 7 months, right?
Yeah.
And I'm strict. No, it was so much worse. I was terrified. My medical doctor was. But now the happy ending.
Okay. So so your doctor did agree to give you 3 months. Right?
She did. My medical doctor.
So she agreed.
She wrote me the script for Lavoxi, the thyroid medication.
Yeah.
That one. Thank you. And I said, give me 3 months.
Yeah.
And I'm going to have.
And I have to say, Shauna, I was very excited because I've been doing this for a while and I've seen lots of patients do well. I couldn't wait to see your results after going back to eating a whole food plant-based diet for 3 months. So
and
tell us.
You were reassuring. You were so reassuring because I was just so deflated. Would be the right word. And it was very comforting our first session together because I just wasn't sure how fast I could move these numbers. But I do know one thing. I love eating whole food. I cook for my family. I have no problem eating a whole food diet, but whole food plant-based, it's delicious. I just have no issues with it. But I was nervous about how fast I could do these numbers. And I kind of put myself on a timeline. My doctor really officially scared me. Yeah. And I know visceral fat, and I felt that I certainly gained 9 pounds of it all in the wrong area. And with my health history of heart disease and diabetes and high blood sugar, and I just was like, I want no part of this. And you said to me, Shauna, your numbers will come down. You didn't put a time, you didn't say how much, but you said, trust me, they will come down. And that was just to hear someone else tell me that was wonderful and just very reassuring. And I love the food diary part. So I filled in the food diary and you were able to review it. And I think once you saw the foods I was choosing, after our consult, you were like, your numbers will come down.
Yeah.
And you didn't say fast, you didn't say slow, you just said they will. And so I went into it blind, and I think both you and I were shocked at the end result. So my cholesterol, my total cholesterol on 7 months of carnivore shot up to 404.
Yeah.
That came down in 2.5 months to 190.
Wow. I just got the chills, and I already knew the results, but I just got the chills again. I mean, that's more than half in 2.5 months.
And I will say my cholesterol has never been that low in my entire life, and I'm 55. Wow. My cholesterol has never been below 216.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And that was 2 years. I was 2 years low fat plant based too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting. And then, okay, so my TSH, my thyroid stimulating hormone number, was so high at 550. I think normal
no, sorry. The TSH, so the TSH was 13.5.
Oh,
right?
sorry. Yes,
Yep.
sorry.
Yep.
That shot up from 1.5 to 13.5, 7 months
On
eating
carnivore.
strict carnivore. So that came down in 2.5 months from 13.5 to 4.
Yep.
So now
I'm in the normal range.
It's 0 to 4 is normal range. I'm the high end of normal, but I will take normal range in 2.5 months.
And by the way, not on any medications.
No.
This is strictly lifestyle. Yep. And then tell them about your antibodies, the thyroid antibodies.
They shot up. They were already extremely high. So I'm just going to, I think, what's the normal range? Is it 0 to 34? I think is the normal range for these antibodies. And mine were 220.
Right.
Pre-carnivore. And on carnivore, after 7 months, they shot up to 550.
Yeah.
And that was the number that my doctor was like, whoa. And they came down plant-based 2.5 months to 240. So completely spliced in half. And I think that was the number that you looked at me and said, Shauna, I knew it'd come down, but that's a hard one to come down. And wow. I think that one impressed you the most.
Well, all of them did. I knew that everything would come down because that's what I see, right? I've seen this time and time again. So I know that things will improve as long as you are committed.
Yes.
And you actually do the thing that you say that you're going to do, then that's what happens. But still, in such a short amount of time, I still am shocked and impressed, even though I expect it. Right.
So, and now we have, I just figure 3-month increments, right? 60 to 90 day cell cycles is the way I kind of look at things at my age. Our cells, my cells don't renew every 30 days anymore, right? And so I'm excited in the next 3 months. Can I get that, the antibody
the cholesterol, number, the antibodies, maybe even TSH.
I still have work to do, but a few symptoms. And I will say, because it's very confusing in the menopause world right now. Everyone I know is on the hormones, and it's from hair loss. It's from this, it's from that. And I'm thinking, are these menopause symptoms or are they thyroid symptoms? Because the hair thinning. Because first of all, I'm not on hormones. So that I just want to make that very clear. Part of this plant-based journey was not me getting on an estrogen patch and progesterone and testosterone. I still am clean of hormones. Well, my hair is completely different. I have so much more of it. It's growing in the patches that were thin. I definitely feel like I'm absorbing my nutrients. I'm on a little bit of the vitamin B now.
B12.
Yep, the B12. Yeah. And by the way, something else I think to draw attention to is the vitamin. We had my omegas run.
Yeah.
So being on carnivore, you are, sold that your omegas will be excellent, right? No, mine were low. Well, they came in at 3.2. And that is a number that you and I are working on. But we know
Yep.
to do that with flaxseed. I was maybe having a half teaspoon of flaxseed a day, and we've just boosted that to 2 tablespoons.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm confident my omega number will rise, but that should have been perfect on carnivore.
Right.
And my Bs were on the low end as well. So,
Yep.
as much as you think you don't need to supplement, I was still low in these critical nutrients.
Yeah.
So because the hair health, my mood, my skin health, my nails, my bruising. If I bruise, I heal faster. Like, these are things that I was noticing in carnivore, and I'm like, oh, it's just menopause and I'm old. But no, this is nutrient deficient symptoms. In my opinion, and all of that is improving for me. So I'm just sitting back, enjoying the ride, watching my body absorb its nutrients, my gut health improve. And I would definitely recommend guidance from someone of your caliber with your experience, because I was nervous bringing in all the fiber again. But with all of the podcasts and all of the knowledge out there, I just want to tell everybody listening, I mean, I had zero ability to digest fiber because I hadn't touched it in years.
Yeah.
And I just followed your advice and, just started nice and slow, a tablespoon of beans twice a day, up to 3 days. And now I am up to basically 2 cups of beautiful beans a day.
Yes.
I can eat, I'm very strict. Like, I won't eat tofu. I will eat the edamame bean because I like the green around the bean. I'm after everything wrapped around. I sprout my own nuts. They're delicious. And that's very easy to do, by the way. It's just been a beautiful journey of enjoying whole food again, where half my grown-up life, I just couldn't and didn't allow myself the fruits and the grains. And I came to this being extremely gluten intolerant. I just I had certain inflammatory markers in my body that were always dead giveaways. So the fact that I am eating oats, I really focus on my oats and my beans. And I tell everyone, if you can just start there, I feel like these are 2 of the most magical foods with mushrooms and nuts and seeds, my chia, my flax. I'm watching my menopause 55-year-old body come back to life again.
Yeah.
Right?
So those extra pounds that you had gained over the carnivore diet, did those come off?
100%. And
I know the answer.
Yes. I had put on roughly 9 pounds, and I don't get on the scale. I only know this because I went to my doctor in that 3-month window, and she weighed me before and weighed me after. And I had no idea because, my jeans sort of fit the same. I had put on weight up here, and I'm wearing a sweater right now, but I'm a very, very petite woman. This is not an area in my body where I accumulate fat. I would be the hip person. But to see this stretch, an up around I was like, this has to be visceral fat because my jeans fit the same. So absolutely, when I went to my last appointment to show my medical doctor my fabulous test results, and she asked me, she said, well, now what have you done? And I said, you asked me to lower my cholesterol, so I stopped eating cholesterol. I don't see the problem. I don't see how this is difficult, Dr. Niki. Is it me? I'm like, this is a no-brainer. I don't even eat saturated fat. Like, I sprinkle coconuts up barely, but I'm like, no, I still am working on my thyroid. I still have a journey ahead of me. But if I can avoid cholesterol and saturated fat, and you reassured me that the body makes its own cholesterol because we need it for brain health. And I believe that. But so the 9 pounds just fell off.
And this is in menopause, by the way. A lot of women complain about weight loss in menopause, that it's difficult to do. And of course, every case is different, but to have it just come off that easily over 2.5 months by just stopping all the fat. I mean, it was just so much fat in your diet because animal foods, as we know, are just really high in not only fat, but like you said, saturated fat and
saturated fat.
cholesterol. It's really
Well, and
hard
there's
to
no
not gain
fiber.
weight by eating all that. Yeah, no fiber.
And,
Right.
and a few just things that I observed, because I'm so tuned into my body, that the more, and then I went on the iodine, I was doing lots of mineral sea salts and things, and taking some iodine, and because you were told to do this. The more salt I added, the more I craved, and the cramping was insane. My leg cramps, and the more butter I ate, the more I needed. I just couldn't get enough calories. My stomach just never felt full. So it makes sense.
Right.
What are your choices? To eat more meat, drink more
Right.
water?
Yeah.
I tried everything. The more of those things I had, the more I craved. And
it makes sense, because when your body's primary fuel source is glucose, right? Or carbohydrates. So
and
if
I
you're
was a pure
starving
fat
yourself
burner.
of that, exactly. If you're starving yourself of that all the time, you'll never really feel full or satisfied, because your body is just like, where is that glucose? And then not only that, but all of the nutrition that you're missing out on by not eating all these beautiful, like now that you're getting all these beautiful dark berries and leafy greens and antioxidants, right? So I'm
Delicious.
not surprised that you felt that way when you were eating
Okay.
so many animal foods.
It was just a surprise to me. Like, I just couldn't get enough salt. Just keep more salt, more butter, or I'm not full. I'll just have more bacon.
Yeah. Yep.
I just, because I wasn't doing dairy, carnivore, no dairy. I was very, very strict, right? I'm in this to heal. To me, food is medicine. And that is how I've always treated it. And it was, I'm glad I got serious and used the test results.
Yeah.
It's just not always how you feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt fine on carnivore, and I feel great being plant-based. So, there's that. But I didn't feel unwell or sick on carnivore. So that's the thing. You're kind of tricked, I guess. But you have to, please, if anyone's listening, use your test results. Really, you need them for encouragement, first of all. But you just never know what your body's capable of doing. And my body at this age is absolutely capable of being healthy and calm and uninflamed. Is that a word?
Yes. Yes. Well, I think that's so fantastic. I mean, yeah, your story is just incredible. And I think thank you so much for sharing it, because I think it really can help others who are struggling, are either, trying a carnivore diet or considering doing that. And just knowing that you went from that to this plant-based diet and you love it. It's not like you feel like this is what it sounds like to me, that you don't feel like it's restrictive, that you're dieting, but you're loving the foods that you're eating.
It's absolutely that I consume beautiful fats. I consume, my nuts and my seeds and my walnuts and my almonds and some cashews. I think the no-brainer for me is the fiber. And if consuming the fats, and a good amount of them, but as long as they're with the fiber wrapped in that casing, the way that the body can just utilize the fats over the day, the blood sugar stabilizes. Oh, by the way, I had real trigger markers for kidney function lowering, struggling on carnivore. My kidneys, my urea was high, all of the bun. My liver function was not happy on carnivore. All of that, 2.5 months, just glorious numbers. And I think my C-reactive protein, I ran that came back normalized. My AC1, beautiful.
The hemoglobin A1C, yeah.
Beautiful. And, this is an issue. I'm eating fruit. Oh, guess what? I'm eating fruit. What?
Yeah.
I'm eating oats, but they're, whole grain, sprouted. oatmeal. Like I just choose the better version of each food. I mean, you could do this in a poor way or you could do it in a healing way. And I've chosen the healing way. But from that, I am just so full and satisfied. I would say the only risk of plant-based is that you might lose too much weight because you feel so full, Dr. Nikki,
Right. You
that
have
I
to eat more
forget
food, really,
you
which is kind of
do.
nice, right? You don't have to restrict yourself, portion control. You just
No.
eat until you're comfortably full. And so that ends up being a bigger plate of food when you're used to eating small amounts, when
And
you're
and
eating mostly animal foods.
and that to me is the message. I spent a lot of time fasting and trying that for menopause. There was a prominent female doctor for fasting in menopause. I mean, I tried so many things.
Yeah.
And all I feel like it did was make me deficient.
Right.
Right. And I eat when I feel like eating. I listen to my body, and it's just not a crazy thing. Like I'm not
Yep.
following I am the least inhibited I have ever felt. And I have tried everything. And
Yeah.
those people
And that
that
is
really
so important to hear. That is so important to feel
good.
the least inhibited that you've ever felt and that you've tried everything. I mean, that is huge because as women, I feel like all of us, unfortunately, have been taught from a young age how to diet. And we've all tried things when we've gained weight because we don't know what to do. We don't know what works. And I feel the same exact way, because I used to eat an omnivorous diet. I used to eat a high processed food diet, and I didn't feel good and I didn't look good. And now I get to eat all these delicious foods. I don't worry about portions. I don't worry about calories, but I'm choosing the right healthy foods. And so
Right.
I get to eat when I'm hungry and stop when I'm full. And I don't feel this overwhelming guilt about what am I going to eat? How am I going to eat it? It is liberating. And
Yeah.
I don't feel deprived. I feel like this is such an amazing way to get to eat,
Oh,
right?
well, truthfully, and having me for, like I said, I have been eating the keto or the omnivore or the Mediterranean way since I was 25 years old. And and it did not serve me.
Yeah.
All it did was blow up my body into inflammation. And obviously being older, those signs and symptoms they just, they're very in your face. You
Yeah.
absolutely feel them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been, I do have a ways to go. My plan is to heal my thyroid, or at least get those get myself out of the Hashimoto's. And maybe that's never going to happen. Maybe it will. But if I can cut them in half in 2.5 months, those indicative numbers, I will just keep plowing through.
Yeah.
And I simply because I feel more satiated and more satisfied than I've ever felt in my life.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I bet all that beautiful fiber. Yeah.
and to see, hair growth, and to see things. No, and I don't have to buy 1,000 packets of green powder and probiotics and prebiotics and collagen. And oh my Lord, Dr. Nikki,
Yeah.
I can't even handle the expense of what you're supposed to be purchasing out there, what you're being sold.
What you're supposed to be. I know.
I just eat some shiitake mushrooms.
There you
I'm
go.
not buying an expensive ground up powder. I can make my own raw cacao mushroom drink, or I can just buy some shiitake mushrooms and cook them.
There you go. There you go.
It's not that expensive. So that's my second message to people. You do not need to spend $400 on supplements. Your gut, from my experience, your gut microbiome does shift, including all the whole foods with the fiber. And this isn't a low fat diet. I make dressings from tahini, cashew. My dressings are creamy and yummy. My sauces, so my palate is satisfied. I don't miss cream. I don't miss butter.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth thing I noticed was stepping away from all that. I just don't crave it. I crave lemon juice over salt. And so the other thing, I've always been a salt person. Like I've never reached for sweets. I've reached for salt. And I don't cook with salt anymore. I'm stunned about to say that out loud. I don't feel the need. I use herbs, spices, lemon juice,
Perfect.
vinegars.
Yep.
Right, like that's how and I don't crave it. It's gone. That
Yep.
need to have salt. My
Yeah.
palate
Yeah,
completely
your
different,
palate changes.
and
Absolutely,
I'm
it does.
tasting the food.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Isn't that the best? It really is. I mean, things just taste better over time as you get rid of the, added salts and sugars and oils and all of that,
And yeah,
and
and you
just be able
see
to
what
taste the real pure food.
right. And I don't know what happens technically in the palate for that,
Yeah.
but I feel cleansed, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
It does. Yeah. Well,
And my
Shauna, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say my only advice is, if you're struggling, just know Mexican food, Mexican food, Mexican food. Eat your guacamole and make your beautiful fresh salsa fresca. If you can just start there, and roast some, whole corn, organic tortillas,
Tortillas.
dry them out in
Yep.
the oven and make your own chips and just get
Yep.
into the guac and salsa. Anyone can start there. That's
Yeah.
plant-based
And
and
that's
whole
yummy.
food.
That's delicious.
And toast those
All right.
pumpkin seeds and cumin, and
There you
and you're
go.
you're on your way to healing.
I
Just
love it. I
Mexican
love
food.
it. Well, thank you so much, Shauna, for meeting with me today. I'm so impressed with you and what you've been able to accomplish. You've done the hard work. I mean, you made this transition and got to this place where you healed yourself. And I still see this as something that you're continuing to do over time, and you're still motivated and committed to doing this. And I'm just thrilled to be able to be a small part of your journey. So
You're a
thank
huge
you.
part. Well, we have a ways to go together, and I'm
And
very
that's,
excited to report
but this
more
is,
better, more
yeah,
improvement.
I know we've only been working together for a few months. So this is, I mean, it's really, really amazing. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for watching today. If you have not had the pleasure of working with one of our doctors at lifestyletelemedicine.com, maybe now's the time. If you're suffering from low thyroid, any other chronic diseases like high cholesterol, high blood pressure, diabetes, if you have a doctor currently who is not supportive of your lifestyle, is not supportive of you eating a plant-based diet, maybe you're just on a lot of medications and you need help with making this transition and doing it in a safe way and helping with those medications over time, hopefully being able to decrease or eliminate those. Go ahead and call us or visit us at lifestyletelemedicine.com, and there's our number, 888-420-7284. You can talk to Susan or one of our staff. We would love to talk to you. We do cover the United States and international. We would absolutely love to hear from you. And thank you again, Shauna. And until next time, I'm Dr. Niki Davis with Lifestyle Telemedicine.
Thanks, Dr. Niki. Thanks for all the support.